Barbarian's just kind of a in and out punch and go experience, I feel. But besides that being said, we're in spoilers, remember. So Justin Long, who again, now I don't think I've brought up my love for Justin Long before, but I love Justin Long going all the way back to Galaxy Quest. I think that was his first movie or one of his early movies. And he's like 18 years old. He's playing Galaxy Quest as a spoof on Star Trek. And it's a spoof where the actors of a Star Trek like show, who are still famous and still doing things, doing little gigs to make money, make ends meet. They haven't had a real acting job, but they're still making money off of their fame from these characters. They actually meet aliens who have built their ship for real and want them to fly it and captain it and do all the adventures for real because the aliens are fans, because aliens don't even realize that the show is a show. They think the show is an actual historical document. And Justin Long is one of the fans that the aliens get mistaken for as fans. And Justin Long is just a fan who's like, oh, McTaggart. So I just want to know. He plays such a sweet kid. And the very next movie I see him in is Jeepers Creepers, where again he's playing a very, a nice enough kid. Maybe he's got some more layers to him, but on the most part, you see he's a nice enough kid. He's going on a road trip with his sister, who I remember that actress being very gorgeous. And she was great too. She really fantastic performance. But the two of them were on this road trip, and Jeepers Creepers has this creepy bat-like humanoid thing chasing them and killing people. And spoilers for that one. If you haven't seen Jeepers Creepers 2, go watch it before this moment. Justin Long gets taken by the monster at the end of the movie. It's horrible. It's one of those, oh my god, and you hear his screams at the end of that movie, and that's always haunted me. And what I find interesting is that one of my favorite Justin Long movies is actually Tusk. I'm going to do a Why It's Great on Tusk at some point. I do think Tusk is Kevin Smith's best movie. But Tusk is all about Justin Long slowly. He goes to go. He's a podcaster who's going to go interview someone for his podcast. It's this old man who has these crazy stories about being in World War II and all this stuff. And the guy ends up kidnapping him and slowly over the course of the movie surgically transforming Justin Long into a walrus. It's a ridiculous premise, it's crazy, and it is somehow both scary and hilarious at the same time in a kind of 60s goofy kind of way, but at the same time with a kind of a 70s camera sensibility, but also a modern day cinematography style. It's so many things at once, but at the same time, the whole movie of Tusk is really a joke of Kevin Smith hearing about a real ad about an old man wishing to tell stories of his adventures as a young man, so long as, and offer free housing in his home, so long as for 2 hours a day you wear a walrus outfit. So his whole movie of Tusk is just a joke on some note that existed for real in Canada somewhere, which says a lot. But I love Tusk. I genuinely think it's a fantastic piece of filmmaking, and I think it's a fantastic piece of filmmaking because Kevin Smith just didn't care. He just wanted to do something just to do it. And I think all of the strongest, best aspects of his filmmaking, I think if you look at Red State and you look at Tusk, Kevin Smith has all the makings of being another Tarantino. But in every way, shape, and form, he's his own Tarantino. He's his own wacky, goofy, strange sense of humor kind of filmmaker. But anyway, bringing this back to Justin Long, that is one of my favorite Justin Long films, where he's the lead character, because he plays, similar to Barbarian, he plays kind of a disgusting douche who kind of deserves some punishment for his behavior. What I like about horror movies is that sometimes horror movies are about the unfortunate punishment of the innocent, and those are tragic movies. Like that, I would say that's like Jeepers Creepers, the unfortunate punishment of innocent people. And then on the other hand, horror movies are sometimes like the vindictive punishment of the wicked. And that's what I would say Tusk and Barbarian fall into, where it's like if you are in some way wicked, if you're not truly pure of heart, then the villain is after you. And I think that's a very interesting type of villain to present in a kind of horror movie, where Justin Long in Tusk is such a douchey, uh, he just cares about himself, podcaster guy, and it's affecting all of his relationships. And here we see in Barbarian again, he's playing a similar kind of guy, but just further along, with much more success. And in this case, he's part of the film business, so we're getting a little bit of the Me Too discussion going on here. That's what's interesting. Bringing this back to Barbarian, Justin Long is a Hollywood guy who accused of assault, accused of something heinous, and he's going to the same house because he actually owns the house. This accusation ruins a lot of jobs for him. All of this is happening in the first 5 minutes of his introduction, and I think I see movies most of the time with my sister and her boyfriend, my nerd brother, and they spoil me. I'm broke, so they take me to the movies. I buy the snacks when I can. But we all discussed it, and at the end of the discussion, we realized Justin Long was the barbarian of the movie.